Hey, we're back in the garage. Actually, back behind the garage today. Got a new project. Check this out. Ford 8N tractor. This thing has been around, and I've been driving this since I was like 5. And it is in crap condition right at the moment because my dad would never let me fix it up. It's not because it's a Ford, it's just because it just has been neglected. Yeah, I know we're Chevy guys, but we got a Ford tractor now. So yeah, my dad got this when I was like 5, and it was pretty nice back then. But he never did anything with it, wouldn't let me do anything with it besides any more than just keeping it running. So what we're gonna do is fix this baby up. And I have no intention of keeping it all stock and original. But right now we need to slap a battery in it and see if we can get it to run. It's been several years since I've used it. I think she might need some tires. We're gonna see if it'll fire up. One of the first things I plan to do to it is convert it over to 12 volt. Right now I've got a good 6 volt battery, so we're just going to try it as is. Last time I used it, I had it was charging, everything was working. And this wiring on there was all done by me probably 30 years ago, maybe more. So we'll fix it all up. This tractor has been through a lot. Like I said, I've drove it around since I was 5, and I have actually nearly died on this tractor. This thing has actually went airborne, and I do not recommend it. All right, we're getting ready to put a battery in here. Somebody had been messing around with my ignition switch, had it all bypassed, so right now I've just thrown a toggle in there. The fuel in it smells okay, so I'll hook this battery in. Yeah, I don't know why Dad never did want me to mess with anything. He was just allergic to change. And since he's gone now and the tractor's mine, I'm gonna change everything.
We're leaving.
Maybe if I could. And one of the cool things about this tractor is this lever here was a secondary gear set, or like a high-low axle or whatever, but it gave me 4 more sets of gears. Dad called it highway gear, but it made the tractor go pretty fast. If anybody knows what that is called exactly, comment. But the lawnmower crew over there has already challenged me to a race. Yeah, they got to get their shit running first.
It's gonna be running.
Yeah, when?
I'm lighter, bitch.
Yeah, you better not stop in front of me.
I'm faster.
And we're going to put the battery in, see if anything lights up, turns over. Then I'll probably have Junior over there drag me around and we'll pull start it, because I seriously doubt that battery's got enough to crank it over and fire it. Okay, battery's in. Let's see if it's got any juice. Showed 6 volt on the voltmeter, but ooh, it's got a little bit. That may be just enough to fire it off when we're towing it. And this tractor, and I've had this, or Dad's had this forever, but I don't know that much about them, just how to drive them. I do think from what I've seen here recently that this, since this has the side mount distributor, it would be a 52 to 54 model, which takes a different alternator kit if I don't just fabricate everything up myself, because the older ones had the generator right here, and then this proof meter tachometer thing, it never did work. And like I said, I'm not keeping it stock. I want it to be something cool to play with and to work good. Just come out here and it fire up. We'll get it stored inside here fairly quickly. Get it 12 volt, get some lights on it. Like I said, not keeping it stock. Probably take the old oil bath off, put a uni filter up in there or something. Need to do some serious work on the steering, because that's not even, barely moving the arms. Steering wheel's rotted and a tree fell on it several years ago, and I do have a new wheel in the box inside. I've already bought that. So we'll get the slack taken out of the steering, Get the new wheel on it. Like I said, we will need some new tires here sometime soon. All right, got to cut a new gasket for the sediment bowl, run some gas out. I think we're about ready to see this baby will fire up. Alright, ignition's on. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Hang on! Whoa! Now go. Hang on, hang on. We're just dragging the tires. Okay, ease forward. Okay, now try. Slow. Let's switch hands here. Okay, go a little faster. Listen to that. Well, it was good while it lasted. Hang on just a second. Stop. Well, they can go around. We're doing important shit here. Trying to get this old girl going. I wasn't sure the car wasn't going to overflow, so I shut that down. But I think we just ran out of fuel. So let's give her another go. Okay. Listen to it purr. That's pretty impressive. We got oil pressure. Still not charging, but it usually had to bump the RPM up quite a bit to get it to start charging. Oh, we may be flooding now. Hang on. Okay. Whoa! Yeah, I bet it flooded. Hell no. Doesn't look like fuel's still pouring in. Alright, it looks like the fuel system is good. What we lost was ignition. I cranked it over. The battery was actually cranking over the tractor pretty good. But I was holding the coil wire here next to the manifold, wasn't getting any spark as it cranked. So what I did was, here's the ground wire to the coil. And if you don't know how a point system works, as it turns over, these breaker points separate. When they're together, it grounds the coil. You have power going to the one side. This is the ground wire. As it's grounded, the coil charges. Okay, when the points separate, it's no longer grounded, the field collapses and you get a spark out of the secondary winding of the coil. So let's do a little experiment here, see if the coil's still good. Okay, the switch is on. Got this down next to the manifold, which is all rusty, so that's not a real good example. But here's your ground, and what we're going to do is we're going to ground it to the distributor to simulate the coil, or simulate the points working. You see it? Now if you can pick it up, but it is sparking here to the manifold. So we know the coil's good, the wiring's good to there, so now we need to find out what's wrong with the points or the condenser. Okay, I cleaned the connection there where the points go together. And I rolled it around. It was making and breaking the contact. And the condenser is just a capacitor. And what that does is absorb electrical charge when this thing breaks apart. If you noticed a while ago when I was just bumping that connector, there was a lot of arcing going on, and the points will do the same thing without the capacitor there, and that will end up burning the points to where they no longer function. Then you also have the problem of if this breaks down and shorts out, you will have a short to ground all the time, so you will never break the connection when the points open, so that'll kill you too. So let's put the cap back on and see what we've got now. We are ready to give this a second try. We have plenty of fire now, and I figure it cranks over slowly on the battery, but I figure I've got it flooded from dragging it around a while ago with no fire. So we'll drag it around some more, see if we can't get it clear out and fire up. Try number 2. Say we better pull the spark plugs. We may just have those totally wet. Yeah, the old plugs are really black and wet. Say continuing to pull it after the ignition crapped out a while ago, we just fouled the plugs out. Which is no big deal. They could use a new set of plugs anyway. Attempt number 3. It lives! Let's see if it can make it back to the house on its own power.
Got the twist up.
Thank you. Piece of cake. going to be a fun project.